Geno, can you just talk about the defensive intensity that you guys had? I mean, I know you've been pleased with it lately, but today it seemed like it was even up a notch.
Yeah, I thought the way we started the game, you know, we wanted to obviously set a certain tone. I mean, that's how we got to play, you know, with the lineup that we have. We really don't have any other choice than to play that way. You know, if we had 2 or 3 other choices, maybe I'd take another one, but this is the only way we can play. And against certain teams, you know, we would be more successful than others. But you know, our goal is to, you know, if we can't, you know, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to force a turnover every time, but if we can make you maybe speed up a little bit, maybe take some time off the shot clock, you know, anything that we can do to, you know, dictate the tempo of the game. And today, you know, I thought the beginning kind of set the tone for it. You know, that's a big part of our offense. You know, because it starts when we touch the ball on the defensive end.
Paige looked pretty frustrated at halftime there. What did you say to her in that moment? And what is it about her that she's able to still impact the game like she did, even when her shots aren't falling?
Yeah, I don't know what she shot today. I mean, 5 for 12. Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing about good players is they know how to impact the game when they're not necessarily shooting the ball great or whatever the case may be. So a lot of players, the only way they know how to impact the game is when the ball's going in the basket. And you know, Paige, she knows how to play defense. She knows where to go to get a rebound. You know, so and I don't care how good you are, and I don't care if you're playing basketball, you know, your whole life. There's always something that you know, you can pick up from the game. The end of the half there, I thought we had a real good we had a really good matchup for us. You know, she had the ball on the wing, and the big kid was out on the perimeter trying to guard her, and we tried to isolate her out there, and she called for a ball screen so that, you know, the guard that was guarding our big guy could then switch on her so they could have the guard on Paige and the big guy, our big guy. So we kind of helped them get their defense set up, you know. So she's always learning. She's always trying to figure out, you know, what I need to be better at. I knew when she would come out in the second half, she would start, you know, the ball would start dropping for her, and she'd start making plays. But, you know, it doesn't matter how good you are. You know, there's always things that you can do on the basketball court to help impact the game. And there's always something you can learn from the game.
Any other questions? Roger?
Geno, is there something you're talking to the kids about at halftime? Because again, your third quarter was pretty impressive. 15 for 20 from the field. Again, more energy. The third quarter thing seems like a really good thing for you right now.
I don't know. It varies. You know, our halftime talks vary. Sometimes they're very short and sweet, to the point. Sometimes they're very technical. Sometimes they're more intangible things. I thought that second quarter, you know, that we stopped. You know, we stopped playing basketball. We scored so easily in the first quarter that I think we maybe felt like this is how it's just going to flow. And maybe we need to be reminded every once in a while that, teams come and they come to play us, and nothing's to be taken for granted. And just thought we got better movement on offense in the third quarter. We got better ball movement. We got more transition baskets. So I just thought everything that we did was more intentional, sharper, more focused. The thing we have to worry about too is, how much of this pressure can you really put on for 40 minutes? Given what we're dealing with here. So I also can see it too, where there's going to be times when we're just trying to conserve energy sometimes, I think, on the offensive end, because we are spending a lot of it on the defensive end. But I think we've come up with a good way to conserve energy. I think anytime we feel like we need a breather, we just smack somebody or grab them, or punch them, grab their shirt, trip them, anything to get a breather and let them shoot a free throw. They're smarter than I give them credit for sometimes.
And 8 steals for KK tonight, 4 for Ashlynne. Just how have those two adjusted specifically to the defensive side of things at this level?
For KK, it's been just a continuation of her high school career. That's kind of who she was as a high school player. She had a tendency sometimes to just being a little more laid back. But I need her to be disruptive. We need her to be much more, as I said, I think disruptive is the best word. That needs to be a big part of her game. And sometimes that leads to steals, sometimes it doesn't. And today I think was a perfect example of that. Ash, this is all new for her. Ash, not really one of these guys. I think that the bench kept reminding me how many steals she had, because I think her career high coming into today it's like one a month. So trying to make her a little more ball hungry, I asked her today, a lot of times she plays like she's a defensive back in football. Like they're chasing a receiver down and the ball comes right over the defensive back's head and the guy catches it anyway. And you go, must be a reason. They all do it, so it must be a reason. She does that. She does that a lot. She'll be over here. Her guy will be over there. The ball will be all the way over there. The ball's in the air long enough that you could have a sandwich. And she'll just wait for the ball to come over her head and then turn and sprint at the guy. And the ball would just come right over her head and the guy will catch it. So we did a little drill today where it's like I told her frisbee, the playground with, your pet or something, I would go, here, and I would throw it up in the air and she would go chase it again, just to get her in the habit of, this is what it feels like to steal the ball. So they kept reminding me today, Ash got to steal. All right, I saw it. Okay. I didn't realize she had 4 of them though. Now she'll think she's Walt Frazier. Me, you, and Carl, the other ones.
Geno, slightly, it is off topic a bit, but after the game, your seniors, Aaliyah, Paige, Nika, were all signing autographs, pictures, selfies, everything else. And your program's always had the engagement with their fans, going back to Rebecca even before. But what does it say about them in the era of NIL, that they're still willing to do this? And I swear if they weren't pulled out of there, they'd still be out there.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a strategy to have to listen to your postgame, I don't know.
Sometimes I think we try to make these kids appear older than they really are, or we try to steal their youth. We try to steal some of their innocence. We have all this talk back and forth about, revenue sharing and, who should get what and how much money the game generates and all that. And I'm all in favor of that. That's all well and good, but at heart, though, they're still kids. They're still college kids. They're still not that far removed from being in high school and going to games and trying to get an autograph themselves from somebody. So, yeah, they would stay out there for half an hour, 45 minutes, and do it. If you just let them be kids, they would do kid stuff. But now they're managed, and now they're orchestrated, and now there has to be a table. And if you want an autograph, I'll sit behind a table. You pay $5, and I'll give you an autograph. And I don't know that. I'm sure there's a time and place for that, but not after a game for kids. I just think that's a reminder to them. There's going to come a time when I'm not going to do this anymore. Might as well enjoy it while you can. The flip side is nobody gives a damn about your autograph. Nobody wants to talk to you. So they're fortunate. They really are, because that doesn't exist at a lot of places.
I was just wondering, I was watching Paige and I kept thinking, I don't know if what they do with memorabilia, her group or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
or
no.
what the kids do with, I hope that these things just don't go on eBay or something.
You don't know that. You just don't know. And I'm sure there is, somebody brings something to you. There's always people waiting for them outside the bus. We're always late getting on the bus, late getting to the airport, whatever, because they want to sign as much as they can, and sometimes we can't let them. And people will do that. They'll have 10 things. Sign this. What's your name? Oh, just sign it on there. That's where it's going. It's where it's going. So you always try to put a name to it. My mom loves you. This is for my mom. Oh, what's your mom's name? Sam. So you write Dear Samantha, just to piss them off.
Going back to what you just said about Ashlynne, is that kind of the reason you've had her in there with the second unit to end these past 2 games? She's the only starter that you've had to the last end the last 3-4 minutes in each game.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have many choices, do I? So somebody's got to be the 5th guy out there, and it just happens to be the one. I also, want to make sure that we don't overestimate how much she can do, and leave her out there too long. If you notice during that one stretch, all her shots were short. So you want to make sure that they all get enough of a breather, and she's one that I tend to leave out there because she's so incredibly well conditioned for a freshman.
What was it like seeing Kylie on the other bench today and having her back in the Big East?
Always one of my favorite, just an incredible human being, just always a light in her eye, always a smile on her face, and was like that as a player, was like that, in high school, and still is like that, and incredibly engaged in our program, and had a tremendous career here and tremendous success here, and she enjoys what she's doing. She really loves it, and I think the future for her, I think she wants a future in this game, and I'm thrilled for her. I really am. She's a great person.
Just Nika seems to be in a better place right now. I mean, her first double-double of the season, 13 points, 10 assists, only 2 turnovers. You like where she is right now?
Well, she is in a great place, and as I said earlier, or even yesterday, of anybody that's had to change and adapt their game to today's environment this year, rather opposed to last year, would be Nika. And I think she's done a phenomenal job. It hasn't affected her defense one bit, and she's a much more confident shooter than she has been at any time during her UConn career. And today, she had an opportunity because the game was played pretty fast. And she had an opportunity to do what she loves to do the most, and that's, get the ball to other people and help them score. And I know that's a big part of why we can play the way we play, is because we've got 3 pretty good ball handlers out there and pretty good passers that know what to do with the ball. I think she's the perfect example of that.
You had also mentioned wanting to play Ice and Aaliyah together, and you did today for a stretch, and they looked pretty good while they're out there together.
They did. They had a lot of opportunities. They didn't take advantage of all of them. But yeah, we have to play that way. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of different combinations out there, because that's what we've got to do. We've got to be ready for no matter what, because you never know, the foul situation, and it's going to be, it's going to be important to us that we can manage regardless of what the combinations look like. But that's one that's going to be used a lot going forward.
What are your thoughts
They
on?
can stay out of foul trouble.
Sorry. What are your thoughts on St. John's?
St. John's, Joe always, they always have a really good idea of how they want to play. He gets tremendous mileage out of kids that haven't necessarily spent a lot of time in the program. He's able to bring new players in, and they blend in fairly quickly. And he's got a group like that now. They lost a couple of really good players to, graduation, and I would expect that the game is going to be played like a typical Big East game. I wish it was on campus, to be honest with you. I know he does too. It would have been a great environment in there, but yeah, they're, they beat Marquette last week, so they're a very difficult matchup for everybody in our league. They play great defense. They run great stuff on offense. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us, I think.